What is up? It is time for another website mic drop where I walk through the user experience of a brand new website. Usually it's one I've never seen before. That's definitely the case today. If you like this kind of content, you want to learn how to go through a website and figure out the questions that you should ask, things you might want to test to learn more about, make sure there's no problems, subscribe to the channel, follow me on LinkedIn. You're going to never miss a video. Today's website I've never seen before. I just know the URL. Came in by request. You can request videos. You can message me. You can put them in the comments. I'll definitely try to get to it. Can't guarantee it, but if someone asks for it, I'll probably do it. Maybe I'll even do it as my next one. So today's website is AptDeco.com. I don't know anything about it. So let's paste it into the URL bar and see what it's all about. Here we go. All right, so here we are, AptDeco. What do we have? The easiest way to buy and sell used furniture. Okay, all right, so I guess that's short for apartment decoration, perhaps. Ready to start selling, learn more. So we can browse. I assume this is browsing furniture to buy. This is getting ready to start selling. Interesting here, it says the easiest way to buy and sell, and then just browse. You were talking about buying and selling, but then browsing, which is clearly a buying motion, whereas directly to the right, just right up here, you have ready to start selling, which is clearly the selling motion. So you got two different opposing things. You also have a start selling button right at the top of the screen up here. So we've got start selling. So multiple buttons or calls to action to try to get you into the selling motion. But then we've got the browse option here is very big. And then just below, we seem to have a lot of furniture items for sale that are listed as top picks. Top picks, very good persuasion element for right on the homepage, letting me know, hey, these are the things that we think you would really like. And you can see you've got things like price drops, 50% off delivery, great price. So they're giving us a little bit of value propositions on the individual items. So that's a good technique to try to use. What version of this value proposition is the most effective is something I would love to get more feedback on, especially since this is a prime possibility of testing. You've got three different things, one after the other. Now, this is a carousel. It's clearly labeled here that you can go to the left or to the right. You can see the number of screens here. Now okay, so that was really awkward. You can notice I didn't mean to do that, but just hovering over this is changing the carousel, and I didn't mean to do it. So it created motion that I wasn't expecting, and that's usually not a good thing. But the individual items, I'm also noticing that the mouse pointer is not turning into a finger to click on the individual items to let me know they are clickable. My instinct says that they are clickable. I'm not going to do that just yet. Also, it is interesting that a price drop on this custom sideboard, very tiny photo with a $1,530 price tag, which is a price cut from $1,700 and estimated retail $5,200. So that is something that I would be curious to test. Do people believe that estimated retail price? Now, in my experience, I believe probably in yours, we see this kind of thing all the time with a scratched out MSRP for something that we would never, ever believe that is the real price of. Something that always comes to mind, and I know this is dating myself a little bit, but the purchase of a CD. And purchasing of a CD, you would often see, it would say something like $18.99 MSRP crossed out $11.99. Nobody ever would expect to pay $18.99 for a CD, unless you were in, I don't even know if it still exists, Sam Goody. No, sorry, Sam Goody. I usually wouldn't mention a brand like that, but I think you don't exist anymore. So Sam Goody, a lot of people used to call it Sam Greedy because they did have exceptionally high prices, sort of like the convenience effect in a mall. So they did charge exceptional for that. So I'm curious to see if people would believe these prices. They seem a little bit high. So again, look, I'm just trying to move across here, and I accidentally dragged my mouse across this, which is it's not working the way I want. And I would really recommend you get rid of this motion altogether. It's probably just distracting people. And as I've said in previous videos, every negative interaction or negative experience, whether it's conscious or unconscious, subconscious, it's going to detract from the website, and it gets them one step closer to abandoning your website. So just stop doing things that even at a subconscious level are frustrating or annoying or disrupting the experience. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more. Curated collections. So we've got the most popular brands. So this is kind of interesting. So we've got the most popular brands: West Elm, CB2, IKEA, Room and Board, DWR, etc. But up above, we have the top. Okay, so the top picks are not necessarily the most popular brands. So here we have a retail $5,200 sideboard, but then we're saying the most popular brands include IKEA, which is typically more of a discounted brand. I don't believe I've ever seen a $5,200 sideboard in IKEA. Either way, best of MCM and vintage. I don't know what MCM must be a brand. I'm sorry, I don't know vintage furniture, but MCM, let's see, luxury brands we've got here. And then we've got things like floor models for sale, nothing over 500. Okay, this is an interesting breakdown. I'm curious, I'll have to go back in the navigation and see if this kind of breakdown is available in the navigation, because having things like that where it's, oh, a certain price point, I'm looking for used furniture, probably looking to save some money. Collectible is different from like used. And when I go back to the top here, let's see, yeah, how people buy and sell used furniture. I mean, they're very clear that the word used has been, it's in all the key messaging, even up here in the title of the page, buy and sell used furniture. That suggests just the term used furniture, buy and sell used furniture. So even here, search pre-owned furniture and decor. Does the higher price point merchandise resonate with people, or do people expect to see higher price merchandise on the site when that term used furniture is really the core messaging? Or might it be better to come up with a different type of messaging, or perhaps break it into 3 sections, 2 sections for the used furniture, one for collectible or classic pre-owned furniture, then another one for sort of used furniture or discount furniture, or something like that. Initial perceptions of the homepage are going to be really key here, depending on the different buyer segment. And so you might want to change personas and get feedback from the different personas to see, does one like the site more than the other, in which case you may have to completely re-architect the information architecture and the way that you display the product. So let's go through the navigation here. Just added. So this is an interesting category because it doesn't really mean anything. Just added is something that it only makes sense in 2 cases. One, in the event that the products are new. So in new products, just added equates to the newest styles. Just added in a discount or used furniture store suggests that it's for someone who looks at the website repeatedly over and over and over again to see things that have just come in. Now, for that, I would probably suggest a mailing list or alerts of some kind would be a more effective way to communicate the newest items to people who are regular purchasers, as opposed to the average person who's probably coming to the website for the first time, and things that are just added, it doesn't mean anything. It's probably not an effective thing to have in your first navigation element. So, and there's no photography for any of this. You have all this white space here and no photography. If you're going to do a flyout navigation, perhaps you could have some pictures, make it a little bit more engaging. So then you get the brands here. If you're looking for a very specific brand, this could be very important. I like that. If you're maybe trying to find an additional piece from a same vintage manufacturer, something like that, could be good. Now you got furniture. I would, again, question whether or not this should be third or perhaps first, given that is the primary point of this website is to purchase furniture. So we got sofas, tables, chairs, beds, and storage and organization. I'm sure these are standard breakdowns. Might be a good opportunity for a card sort here to make sure that all this stuff aligns, not just that it aligns, but that the types of tables and the names, the labels for everything are what people would expect. Rugs, area rugs, small rugs. That's an interesting distinction. That was the classic navigation issue of going over a different nav and trying to click one of these. Area rug and small rug. I definitely want to test if people understand the difference between these two from a size standpoint, because this says small rugs, which would suggest that area rugs are larger rugs. I can't say specifically what the difference is. I would think an area rug could also be a small rug. So this is something I'd want to test. Again, one extra click to find something could be the difference between buy and bail. Let's see. Lighting. Okay, we got lighting, decor. Now, lighting is interesting because it's not really furniture. It's buy and sell used furniture. Buy and sell used furniture, pick up and deliver. Lighting isn't really furniture. Ceiling fans and chandelier, I guess, it's decor. So it's definitely decor. Um, let's see. Oh, I said apartment decorations earlier. That was a silly thing to say. It's apartment decor, clearly. And then we have decor here. So now you've got all kinds of other things like accent pillows. Curious what people's reaction to buying used accent pillows is, or perhaps are some of these items new? Wall mirrors, other decor, picture frames, curtains, coat racks, candles, used candles. That's interesting. Candle holder, perhaps. And then outdoor and garden, patio furniture, umbrellas, etc. They got a blog, a style quiz, seller's guide. So style quiz. I'm interested to, let's click on this. What brands are you into? Already, the style quiz is getting potentially not necessarily a fail for me, but I would immediately want to know if you don't know the brand, like the brand is not, it says I'm not into brands, but I see this as a brand breakdown. And if I don't notice that this X is not a logo, that it says I'm not into brands, X is in fact a logo today. It's the logo formerly known as Twitter, right? So this all just looks like a bunch of logos. And if I don't read that this is carpet and home and this is home stores, why am I going to read that this is I'm not into brands just because it's a little bit darker than the rest? Which also, why have light gray on a white background? It makes everything harder. And if you're going to show these logos, why not show the actual logo? I'm much more likely to click IKEA if I see the blue and yellow of the typical IKEA logo. So that's a strange choice there, to have all the logos be grayed out. I'm not going to go any further into this. Let's just click on a piece of furniture, the Home Nation custom sideboard. Home Nature custom sideboard. I don't know the brand here. Home Nature. It doesn't strike me as something that would be $5,000 sideboard. I mean, I've had a sideboard. It didn't cost nearly that much. It's free local pickup available. It's in Westport, Connecticut. I really like that it's telling you where the item is. But now that I see and realize it's about there's free local pickup available, I guess there is shipping available. Probably an option or something that would have been effective at the beginning would be, just find things near me that I can go pick up. So 8 customers have this item in their cart. So does that mean 8 people saved it or 8 people are trying to buy it? This is awkward. This is trying to potentially create a level of competition and use like the scarcity principle here, that 8 people are looking at this right now. That I don't know that this actually helps or that it moves the needle in terms of buying. Clearly 8 people put in their cart though, so it perhaps is effective. I would like to test this and find out more. $94 local delivery to this zip code. I mean, that's not my zip code, but I could change it and see what the delivery is. But it could be, Connecticut is a few states. It's just like, it's maybe not that far away. So maybe it wouldn't be much more than $100 to deliver. Okay, have a similar item listed now. They're constantly looking for people to list and sell items. It's interesting. I wonder how much this is clicked though. If it's not clicked that often, it perhaps is clutter. Now this does behave the same way that the other version does on the homepage, where just hovering over it does in fact change it. If I add it to cart, let's see what happens. Okay, it's adding it to cart, quantity 1, continue shopping, checkout now. More from Mackenzie. So Mackenzie is the seller. And I'm going to say checkout now. Let's see what happens. My shopping cart, 1 item, 1 request. Now, what is a request? I don't know what this, should there be a little tooltip here? I don't know what this request, what is a request? I thought I'm buying something. So is this that I might try to buy it and it won't be available? So that is a little disconcerting here. I don't really know what this means. There's a sign-in option here, I guess, if I have an account previously, promo code option. I want it delivered. I want to pick it up. So let's see. Sales tax calculated at checkout, delivery, etc. Okay, proceed to purchase request. Okay, this is very interesting. So you're making a purchase request. You're not actually making a purchase. That to me is somewhat off-putting. I'm going to give someone my information and they may not even have the item. So that is what it seems like to me. This kind of thing, sustainability impact, not sure if this has any impact on the purchase, how accurate it is. This is probably something filled in by the seller. And as a buyer, do I really trust any of this? 3 pounds of CO2 offset, 4 trees planted, and 5 cars removed from a sideboard? Like, really? 5 cars removed from the road because of this sideboard is being purchased. It's already been purchased once, and now they're just reselling it to me. 5 cars removed. What about the car that has to deliver it to me 100 miles away? Interesting. All right, so we'll let that slide. And proceed to the purchase request. Okay, so now if I go to the purchase request again, more from the seller, like that. All right, let's go to proceed to the purchase request. Now, after submitting a purchase request, you'll be directed to next steps for delivery or pickup. Still don't understand if this is a guaranteed purchase or not, but I've got my item, my delivery method. I'm going to put in my info, my street address. What if I say I want it? Okay, if there was an oversight on my previous selections, I should be able to switch this back to pickup here and have it go to a different set of options. So I'm going to back up and see what the different options are. I go here, and now I'm going to say I want to pick it up. Okay, self pickup there. Let's just go and say proceed to purchase request. Now, okay, if I'm picking up a piece of furniture from someone's house, why do I have to tell them where I live? That doesn't seem to be, shouldn't be required in my opinion, and I wonder if this is going to put off people. One of the big reasons why people don't like purchasing from sites like Craigslist or any place where it's used goods or third-party sellers, things like that. One of the biggest concerns when it's individuals, not managed, is giving out of personal information. Now, this is a prime example where, hey, I'm agreeing to go to your place of residence to pick up this item so that I can remain more anonymous. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to put my info in here. Maybe I've got an account. But why does AptDeco need to tell or communicate my information, my home information, to the seller? If it's for the purposes of sales tax calculation or something like that, it should really just be told, it should tell me this information, who's going to get this information. Is it going to the seller or is it going to AptDeco, or is it just being used to make a calculation? This is very important information and may again be the difference between purchasing and leaving the site, or as I said before, the difference between buying and bailing. And so here we go. I'm not going to put this in. I'm not going to go any further with this. I'm just going to go back to the home page and see if there's anything that we missed. We've got the this heart button here. Okay, wish list. Okay, this is interesting. In an Instagram world, this usually means I like this page, and here it means creating a wish list. So iconography, one of the most difficult things to do correctly. I would potentially, so just again, I already thought this was like the page. I only know it was wish list by hovering over it, and I actually looked down into my status bar down below to see it was a wish list. The icon that looks like a person, I'm going to assume is my account. And I'm hovering over it, and finally it comes up and says account, and then this is my shopping cart. Now, if I go to my account, okay, it opens it up, log into account, saved items, saved searches, messages, listings, purchases, sales. So this is at least giving me some insight into what's going to be in my account. But this whole thing here, having a heart for the wish list, I don't think that's an effective icon, just given that it is a very, very, very famously used icon across most platforms for just like, I love this thing. But on Instagram, which is one of the most popular, interactive applications in the world, it means I like this. And so I don't think that is an effective thing for a wish list. Search, I'm not going to bother going through search today. Actually, you know what? Let's do it once. Search, it gives me, maybe these are the top searches. All right, let's just say I'm looking for, let's say I'm looking for that sideboard. Just any sideboard. So I put in sideboard and hit the enter key. Now, remember, the other one had a price drop that we looked at before. We had 595 results. Follow to get updates when new arrivals match your search. Oh, okay, this is what I suggested before, that if there's new arrivals, let people subscribe to them. So they're doing that. I love it. Really nice touch here. That animation doesn't seem to fit in the style of the rest of the website. Ready to start selling with this little drawing of a dresser. Doesn't seem to fit with everything else. Everything else here, we've got. This is not a sideboard. This is not really a sideboard. This is So already I'm seeing things that my first option is not actually a sideboard. That's really not good. Um, None of these really look like side. This is a TV console. This is a wrapped cabinet. This is a fake fireplace. I don't see any sideboards. This is a basically is a sideboard. And I know there are sideboards because the very first thing that we looked at was a sideboard. So all these products don't seem to match at all with the product that I know for a fact right here is a sideboard, which is what I searched for. So why am I getting products that don't say sideboard, even in the product title, listed as a sideboard? I'm going to guess, not a cyborg, a sideboard. I'm going to guess that people, oh, can I not click I couldn't click the button. That's not good. Sideboard, let's just try this one more time, and then I'm going to end this. I know it's been going long. If I search for sideboard again, if I click on this one had side spaceboard, let's click on this TV console and see if there's tags in it. If there's tags that let people, let's see. New product hasn't been unwrapped from the box. So this is reselling a new item that's not used, and it is being sold at a discount. Doesn't say the discount anymore on the retail. Estimated retail is 300. They're selling it for 300. Well, all right, I don't like that. It's in down in Flushing, Queens. Condition, overall dimensions, read more. Okay, category. So here is a big limitation on this site. And you're allowing the person to categorize the items. So the item category is defining the search results. That is probably not a good approach. We could just see very clearly that I had a big problem with this. It didn't work. And now I'm looking at items that, while they are categorized as sideboards slash credenzas, two completely different things, I'm looking for sideboards very specifically, and through the search, it didn't come up with the sideboards that I needed. Now, I might hunt and peck for a little while, but the odds are I'm going to be very annoyed with this, and I didn't find what I wanted. Now, you could argue that I would just go to furniture and look at, let's see, storage, sideboards and credenzas are together here as well. And so when I click it, let's see if it shows me the exact same listings that it did when I did a search. No, these are tables. These aren't credenzas or sideboards. Hi. All right. So search, product categorizations, listings. These are obviously done by the sellers, but as someone who's aggregating all this information, you've got to make sure that things are being organized properly. Otherwise, the average customer is not going to be able to find anything, and then the overall platform is diminished in value. I would immediately start testing whether or not people can find different types of products properly, because their view of what something is called may not be either one, what the seller has called it, or two, fitting into a clean category that AptDeco has defined. So there could be some real issues there. So what did we see in this website? We found a number of issues with the price that I'd want to test out. The search clearly is my number one thing that I would want to test on this website. The fact that I searched for sideboards and I was getting tables and TV cabinets and big, like a hutch, that is not a sideboard. And so immediately the search seemed ineffective. The question is, why is the search ineffective? Is it because of the way the site is structured and the categories that AptDeco is giving to its sellers to place its items in? Or is it because the sellers are being incented to maximize the coverage of their items and they're putting it in multiple categories to try to get exposure? So there's a lot of things there I would test. There's a lot of good stuff on the site too. I really did like some things here, but the key, we know that a lot of people will search. Search is the primary way people navigate the internet today. And so if someone's motivated by search and then they don't find what they need, they're gone. And that's just the reality. They might go to the navigation, but even in the navigation, I went and I clicked on sideboards, credenzas, and I got tables. It wasn't even either of them. So there is clearly an issue that should be tested here. I would really recommend doing that. That's going to be it for this website mic drop. Hopefully you learned something. And if you've got a request, as I said, put it down in the comments, subscribe to the channel. You'll never miss a video. I will see you next time.